Touch me, love when you put your hands on me. Touch me, love when you put your hands on me. Touch me, love when you put your hands on me. Trust me, give you a good time. Touch me.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the ShockerRacing Garage. We got Kim here and our buddy Tom at Blue JL.
Happy New Year!
It is New Year's Day
2022.
and we're getting ready to do a full color change. Oh, I guess I shouldn't say full color change wrap on the Bronco.
No, just a color change.
Yep. But
which you all knew we were gonna do.
Right. So we are getting ready. We're hoping to knock this thing out today. I think it's gonna be pretty quick on the Bronco because it's not as tedious and some tougher parts like on the Gladiator. So hopefully we can knock this out pretty quick. We've got our wrap color right over there that maybe we'll show you a little teaser, maybe we won't.
We'll see as we go.
And we're gonna get started here. So first thing we gotta do is start stripping this thing down. So the first thing that always needs to happen before you can wrap is you gotta disassemble it, right? So we gotta get the fender flares off, we gotta get all the badges off, and door handles, things like that. So we're gonna show you how to take all those parts off, including the grill, and anything that needs to come off. We're gonna show you how we actually remove it so that you can see all the steps. And then we're gonna get to wrapping. So again, I think this is gonna go pretty quick today with taking it apart because there isn't all that much on the Bronco. It's almost like they designed it to be wrapped. So
at least for the novice to wrap it.
Right. So we're gonna start disassembly. We're gonna show you guys all that and get right to this. All right, we're jumping right into it. Kim is gonna take off the fender here first. So show real quick here what you're doing.
So there's these little, this is probably a good one to show here. There's these little like swivel things and I'm just swiveling the tabs over, which when we were doing this the other day, we realized, wow, Bronco did a really good job with their clips and stuff on these fenders because these swivel things just turn really nicely and then you just yank off the fender. I don't like that. I feel like I'm busting it apart, but I am. So yeah.
So is that quick? We got, we're gonna pop the other 3 off.
Yeah, and the clips don't seem to.
Yeah, not like the Jeeps where they all seem to break.
Yeah, or they get lost and they fall off and they're all up in the metal framing. So just like that, friends.
Pretty much the same thing on the rear for the fender flare. Still just 5 of them, right, Kim?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5. Yeah, that was much easier. There we go.
So Kim just used a little heat in her fingernail, and the Badlands decal is coming off nice and easy. Not that we're gonna put it on, but let's try to save it. We can put it on our toolbox or something.
Or our backpack. Just kidding.
Yeah, backpack.
Like we're in high school. It's kind of hard not to let it get wavy.
Yeah.
Especially because it's hot. I'm feeling like if I keep this cool enough, that's not terrible.
Perfect, that came out really nice. All right, so I think the grill comes off kind of just like the Jeeps. We gotta pop these little tabs off and then I think it pretty much just unclips. So it looks like there's some 10mm bolts here come along the top of the grill. What is it, 4 of them, looks like?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So yeah, there's a couple connectors here.
Connectors here, Kim.
So this is for your camera, and then the jet to clean the camera, maybe.
Oh, the squirter, yeah.
Yeah. So
Squirt.
there you go. So you just squeeze these out really hard, and it makes it a circle and pops right off.
I see. Yeah, because it's oval, so when you squeeze it.
Yep.
Okay, I gotcha.
There you go. There's your grill.
Okay, sweet. All right, so Tom is removing the rear handle, door handle on the passenger side. There's basically just a little plastic cap you pop off. It's a 5mm socket and ratchet. And basically as you're loosening, just keep pulling. And you'll notice it almost kind of gets tighter until you keep going, and eventually it will just let loose. A little more probably. There it goes. And then it literally just pivots out and pulls out. Nothing to disconnect here or anything. Now, when we get to the front one, you'll see we've got the proximity sensors. So that one is going to have you can see it's got the button here. So it's gonna have a wire in there. But same thing, you're gonna pull the cap off. Right there. Let me show in there real quick here.
Excuse me, boys.
You'll see right in there, it's just a 5mm. And you just take your ratchet with an
little
extension. Slide it right in there and just start loosening. You'll notice it gets really tight, so keep going.
A bit more.
There it goes. So it just popped out. And then you gotta work this one out because it will have the sensor in it.
Right.
And it's just got a little clip.
Push in,
Push
squeeze.
in, release, and that's it. Door handle is off. You can see it leaves the keyhole there. All right, so we're gonna take these off just because it's gonna give us a little more room, I think, to wrap into this edge here. It looks like there's just 2 bolts, just one here, which is a 10, and then another 10mm kind of up in here somewhere.
You're taking this side from
Just these pieces.
Oh, the plastic.
The sights, I think Ford calls them.
What are those?
They call them sights.
Oh.
I think the intention is to give you an idea of, like, so you
Yeah.
could see the clear side of your vehicle.
It definitely does that. I just don't like them.
Yeah. They do have deletes. If you really don't like them, we can always delete them.
Oh, I think the delete might be.
Tom was just showing me. I think DZ makes them.
DZ makes some just plastic deletes. They're nice and smooth with the hood and
Yeah,
fender.
I think they're that. Those look like dragon nostrils. And I'm not a fan of the dragon nostril. Although on ours it looks better because it's black on black. Whereas on your dad's Bronco with the
Ooh, show them color.
Oh. Here, come over here. Yeah, these look like dragon nostrils to me when I'm driving, and I feel like they look better on the black on black Bronco, but my father-in-law's that's red, it's kind of an eyesore to me, even though the red is so pretty. These just,
Yeah. So is that loose?
but they do their
Definitely
job,
loose.
that's for sure.
There's
You want me
another
to-
one right there.
Want me to loosen
One
it
more.
up?
So there's a third one here.
Looks like there's a third one
Do you have
there.
another tool so I can loosen it up? Do we have another?
Once he's done, you could start working on that one. So it's this bolt here, Tim. And then there's 2 up under here, one here, and one here. Can you feel it?
It's just not it. I'm so like not as coordinated.
Impressive, just
There you go.
right off. So there's 2 right there close to each other and then the
Yep.
one on top, okay? All right, so we are getting ready to wrap our first panel here. So we grabbed our 70% isopropyl alcohol. You wanna prep and clean the surface using a towel that's not gonna, get lint or any dust or anything on there. And you wanna make sure you clean the whole surface. And then we're just gonna measure out how big of a piece we need here for this first front fender and start wrapping here. So let's get to it. Okay, so Kim is about to cut our first piece of vinyl.
Maybe.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh, there we go. It was getting hung up and I was like, no. Oh, whoa. It's a little crooked.
All right, we're bringing our first piece over to the fender and getting ready to place it on. This is the 3M Neon Fluorescent Orange. Obviously, we had to go neon for the Neon Bronco, right?
And regardless what your eyes see, it's fluorescent orange.
It's orange, not red, not pink.
Not green.
And not green, like
not yellow.
with Mio, everyone thinks it's not fluorescent yellow, it's fluorescent green. This is fluorescent orange.
All right, yeah, so I screwed up. We started to wrap the front fender and I realized I did not cut this piece long enough, but it is gonna be long enough for the door. So we're gonna move over to the door and we'll come back to the front fender. So we're gonna start wrapping this one right now. All right, so we're still working on this first door. It's definitely taken us some time. Definitely got the learning curve going here, trying to get back our bearings. It has been over 2 years since we wrapped the Gladiator, and we did have some help from our buddy James, who knows what he's doing a little better than us. So it's definitely taken us some time, but we're getting it, and we're figuring it out.
And
So
it's a hard color. That's why
it's
this is
definitely,
a very tricky color because it's orange and
neon orange.
neon orange, but in the areas where it's overstretched or overworked, it's changing colors. It's almost like a tangerine. So this is going to be a harder one to manipulate, especially as amateurs, because we're doing the best we can.
The neon colors are hard because you do have to be careful when stretching because it will discolor them.
And for our first door to look this good, it could only get better.
Right.
We might have to rewrap this one though, I think.
We said that on the Gladiator 2.5 years ago that we were going to redo some panels, and here we are 2.5 years later, and we have yet to replace any of those panels we said we were. So we ended up taking off the first door because we were going to work on the edges, and we thought it would be easier off, and then we realized it might be a heck of a lot easier to wrap the entire door off on a table. So we're going to attempt the back door with it off because this door didn't turn out so good. There's definitely some discolorations and some issues. So we're going to come back to that door if this method works out a lot better for us. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to give this one a try.
All right, so I'm taking the taillight out here, and the first thing you have to do is take off this black plastic piece here. It's a couple black plastic screws and then two 10mm bolts, and it will take it out here. And then you can get to the screws for the taillight itself and the wire connectors there too. Okay, so I got the two 8mm bolts that hold in the brake light. Now I have to get this piece off here. It just comes around the bottom of the taillight. It's just clipped in, so I'll pull that off right now. Okay, so I got this black plastic piece off. I kind of just started in this one corner with a little plastic pry tool and popped it off. And there's a bolt here that goes right there. Little 10mm bolt that undo that one, and then if you come over here underneath this black plastic piece, there's another 10mm bolt. If you undo that, be careful of the paint. This should just kind of, some clips in the back, should just kind of pop out, and then once you undo the electrical connector, it'll just come right out.
Okay, so on one of the doors, we were like really fighting and trying to like just tuck the wrap up underneath this trim piece, but it's literally just as simple as grabbing from like the inner part here and pulling up. and it pulled out enough, and then you could just tuck all the way through. It makes it so much easier for wrapping underneath that trim piece.
My fingers hurt.
Oh yeah, well your back's gonna hurt now too, because you just pulled garden duty. Got Tom and Kim working the sweatshop duty here. But I was just gonna give you a little update. We do have the one door completed and the passenger quarter panel all done. Just waiting on Tom is working on this little panel here underneath the rear brake light. And then we'll be able to button this up with the fender flare back on. All right, it's officially day 2 here in the ShockerRacing garage with the Bronco Wrap. As you can see, we've only got a little bit of the passenger side done here, and actually this door is not completed. I did not get as much done yesterday as we had hoped. We ran into kind of well, I shouldn't say kind of, a major learning curve with this neon vinyl. The last time we worked on this, our friend James, who is much better with vinyl and wrapping than me, was here helping, and he made it all look easy. Today we're hoping to get all the rest of the panels kind of laid, and then Kim and I can spend time during the week kind of cleaning up the edges and tucking things. So Tom is on his way. Our good friend Greg, aka Send It Greg, is on his way. And we're hoping we'll knock out a lot more of it today. A couple of things I wanted to point out while I'm waiting for the guys to come. The door handles come off really easy, but we did find it was a little challenging getting it back in and getting it lined back up into place. But it does work, and I'll try to do a whole separate video on that just so you can see. We use the knifeless tape along the top here to get a nice clean line for the, you know, where the hard top will sit over here. So I think that turned out pretty cool. Let me see if I can show you in the vinyl here. Yeah, you can see it, I think, right in here. This is where we like overstretched and overheated the vinyl, and it created some weird discolorations. So again, we're gonna redo this whole door. Luckily I have plenty of vinyl up there, so we'll be fine. Now the other thing I wanted to mention is, by no means are we professional wrappers. This is the only our second time we've ever wrapped a full vehicle. And what we learned yesterday during our learning curve with these doors, at least, is that it is easier for us to take the doors off the vehicle and actually set them down on a table to do the wrap. That way we can kind of get all, you know, 3 of us working together to set the wraps. I don't know how these pros do it by themselves, but we have found that it's a lot easier to just lay it on the table and work on it on a flat surface. So we're gonna be getting those other doors off, laying them down there, and getting going on those. All right, so the ShockerRacing sweatshop has expanded. We now have additional members working here.
It was weird. He gave me like a time card today. I didn't even know he had a punch out station. Punch in, punch out.
Okay, for the mirror, because we need to be able to wrap down into this corner, we needed to get the mirror out of the way because it's got this gasket. This one was actually what was under here, so that slid up underneath there. This was another Torx bit that we took out. They brought this cover off, which opened up 4 bolts here, and then that was able to let us like pivot it up out of the way and just kind of, we're gonna tuck it over and just leave it under the hood so it's out of the way, so that we can wrap this edge here for this whole front fender.
All right, so to remove the painted gas door here, you're gonna peel the sticker off here, use a little pick, to kind of get in there. Let's see, we'll pry it out just a little bit. Should just pop right off, and now you can put the sticker back and slide it back on when you're done.
What you doing here, Kim?
Oh, wrapping a gasket. Gotta be one with the vehicle.
You said you could put your feet up on the job.
I'm punched out.
All right, so we've been working on this wrap, and things are going fairly smoothly up until these fenders. Basically this like compound curve here where it's like down and then out has been really giving us a hell of a time trying to wrap this thing. So that's when we had to make sure we got the reinforcements. James, you guys remember him from when he helped us wrap the Gladiator. Hopefully he's gonna make this look easy and make me look like a fool. All right, so this is James's first and only attempt at this front fender. And look at that, it's a piece of art here. It's beautiful. Thank you. So he's just wrapping up this literally wrapping up this last piece here. All right, so the Bronco is for the most part wrapped up, pretty much all done. We might need to make some adjustments on the tailgate, but we are making a last minute decision to wrap the bulge here on the hood. So we have decided to actually come down over the edge here where it comes down. I think a lot of the decals that you see people installing, companies selling, are just the top flat spot. We're gonna actually try coming down over it. So that's what we're about to do now. As you can see, James is about to start laying out the knifeless tape so that we can wrap over and we'll be able to cut out the bulge. All right, so we are wrapping up this video for the wrap video.
Yeah, wrapping up the wrap.
Wrapping up the wrap. We have finished, for now, the wrap. Basically, it's drivable, everything's back together, it's ready to go. We still have a few decisions we need to make, and maybe you guys can drop some comments below and let us know what you think.
Yeah, we'd appreciate your comments.
Yeah, so far we are really not feeling this orange section on the bulge of the hood. Kim and I think, have both weighed in and decided that we want to take it off completely. Like, we just like the black hood. Let us know, what do you think? Do you like the bulge? Do you think we should have done the opposite, done an orange hood with the black bulge? Or should we just take it off altogether? So right now we're kind of thinking maybe just do a clear bra, PPF or something over the black.
Protect it from all the road rash from when we go off-roading, since it is the only painted piece.
Right, so that's kind of what we're thinking right now. We are loving the R on the Bronco.
Yeah,
that kind of turned out cool.
We love these off-centered details, if you will. If you remember on Mo, we have the 2 red, you know, details in the grill. So this is just kind of something we love, and James did a good job cutting that out.
We're still undecided what we're gonna do around the windshield.
I still like this one little panel orange. Again, that off-centered detailing that I love. James isn't really 100% sold. So that might be another piece that we
change
alter
going forward, but for now she's liking it. So what my baby wants, my baby gets.
Well, it's a small piece, right? So.
Right. So that's that. The sides are perfect. I mean, there's no question for us on the sides. Maybe just we'll add in some black accents, some, you know, orange decals on the window, maybe our Instagram and stuff on the side windows. And probably sponsor logos will go along the bottom here.
But when we drove this yesterday, what I really liked about it was how dark the whole top was, and then the small little accents of also dark black, and then this ridiculous bright orange. So another reason why I think the hood might be better just all black.
Right, because it keeps the kind of the top of the vehicle all black, and then the orange from the windows down, basically, right?
Some consistency.
That's what you're saying. I do like this orange with this like kind of matte gray, black, gray, whatever on the top. So we think that's really cool. And that was something that James suggested for maybe around the windshield, is to do a kind of a flat black or a matte black around the windshield so it matches and blends in with the hard top. So that may be something else we consider in the future here too.
For sure.
But let's move around to the tailgate, because that's our last thing that we are really
We're kind of sad about.
Yeah, not thrilled about. We thought this was gonna look cool, but being that it's like this whole like weird cutout here on this side that's different from this side, like I actually don't mind this side as much, right? Like
I feel like what's weird about this wrap job is that in photos it doesn't look as good as in person. Some of these things, like the hood and the tailgate. So that's what's, I think, there's some disgruntlement, like because we're like, wait a minute, in person we're okay with it, but then when you see it in pictures, it's kind of awkward looking. So I think we just have to tweak it, and I think that's the beauty of wrapping it yourself, is that you're able to tweak things and see how you like them and rip them off and try again.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, a lot of this we kind of did as we went along, like made decisions
Pretty
as we
much all
went.
of it.
Right. So we are.
Minus the doors.
Yeah, so we're pretty well set on the fact that we're gonna probably fill in this whole middle section.
Yeah, just make it all orange.
Right, we're gonna leave the hinge wrapped out because I think that'll be easier than actually trying to wrap these things. But we'll just fill it in, so all that will be black is around the hinges. So we're pretty set on that, but again, let us know what your thoughts are. Should we leave it like it is? Do you like it? Or should we fill that in? That's about it. Stay tuned here right at the end. We're gonna show you some rollers as we pull it out, get it out in the sunlight. Because this thing is killer in the sunlight. Like the garage lights don't do this color justice. Kind of like the Gladiator, it's so much better in person. So much better out in the sunlight.
I mean, it looks pretty good, but I know what you're saying. What's crazy about it is because we did that part, the bulge in the hood, when the sun is like shining on the vehicle and you're in the, passenger seat or the driver's seat, it's literally like illuminating orange inside, and it looks like the sun is setting inside the vehicle. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, this orange is definitely amazing. If you're contemplating wrapping any vehicle this color, I say do it.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
It is awesome.
I may even, don't quote me on this, but I may even like it better than the yellow on the Gladiator. So love. Great choice, Kim.
Thank you.
We got to wrap this up. This has been a long video. And again, we're going to put the roller stuff coming up here right at the end. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Give us a big thumbs up.
Comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
We'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Can I dive deep into the darkness in your heart? Trust you more than anyone I have met before. I don't care who you are or who you want to be. I'll be here until
Here we have a Wild James getting footage of the Wild Bronco.